Handheld camera.
Is this so
handheld camera? Yes, we're recording.
Oh, okay. You're gonna hold it the whole time?
I forgot my tripod.
You're gonna edit this, right?
Nope.
Oh.
All unedited content. That's the whole point of my channel. Woohoo!
Cool.
So, David.
It's weird that I'm the entire focus. It's creeping me out a little bit.
When was the last time we did a video, David?
It was a long time ago. I haven't done a video on my personal channel in months. And the last video I made had like 1,000 views on it.
I haven't done a video. I don't even think I've done a news video now, and it's been over a month for sure. And the last video I did was a 2-month break before that. So, so I guess we can immediately apologize for lack of content because
we've been lazy.
Life has been
I've
considerably.
Had the flu. My wife has had the flu. I have had no life. It has been constant. So
flu season sucks.
Yeah, it's bad. I had my flu shot too, and it didn't work. It's like super flu. I thought I had the Captain Trips. It's scary, man.
Good news, everybody. So, David,
consoles will be dead soon.
That is our prediction. Why do we predict such a thing? Well, today I heard some startling news, and actually there's 2 consoles we get to talk about today. The first one being the next forthcoming Xbox.
Ding dong, the console's dead. Which console? All consoles. Ding dong, the stupid console's dead.
Now, a while ago, there was a Kickstarter for the Ouya Box as well.
Ouya.
And originally it was supposed to be essentially a $100 box console.
It was like a streaming thing?
Yeah, it was like a streaming system, and it was going to work almost like the Steam box that they've been hearing about now too. But the biggest issue that I'm hearing now is that they want to make it a yearly launch. Meaning a new Ouya Box.
Every year?
Every year.
That's pretty
dumb.
Yeah, that's kind of excessive.
Which is bad, because if you were one of the original Kickstarters for the Ouya Box, you're probably hating yourself now. Why is that, David?
Because you're going to have to fork out a whole bunch of money when it comes around to be released again in a year.
Every year.
So are they going to discontinue service for the old models every year? Or
they're going to discontinue service, however, the games are to be backwards compatible.
Still, it means you're buying only a year's worth of time.
Well, I don't know if they discontinue service entirely, or if you just can't play any of the new games when they're released.
I mean, that wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I would like to have it if I'd have that content, permanently through subscription.
I guess the other bugger too is that on that same console, the controller is $50 on its own.
Oh, come on!
So you get one controller with it, but you have to pay.
What are they, Nintendo?
I know.
Just charging out the wazoo for peripherals. Although, to be fair, Xbox controllers are mindlessly expensive.
$55 for a wireless.
Yeah, I mean, I want a wireless controller really bad, but I also want to eat. And I want my children to eat. So.
I think I still have a Halo Reach controller still in the package somewhere.
Wow. And still in the package? Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, but I don't see the value in it, so I'm definitely going to probably get rid of it.
I was about to say, sell that thing. I mean, if it's a Reach controller, somebody will at least pay something for it.
So, alright, so continuing our console is dead premise, I guess we can finally touch on the Xbox 720.
That news, I'm having trouble believing it. I haven't read it yet because I've been sitting in my office reading The Dark Tower, Wizard and Glass all day, which is work because I'm teaching Stephen King in that class, so it's for class.
So do you think we should actually tell them what the news is about the 720?
Yeah, you should, because you know more about it than I do.
So far what I've read and heard and deemed necessary to be told is that essentially Microsoft has come forward explaining first that the console will be always online. And the second bit of news is that, from what I've been hearing, each game will come with an activation code. So essentially, when you plug it into the system, it's going to ask for that code. You give it the code. That's it. What does that mean? It could possibly very well mean the end of used content.
All I can imagine is the Empire Strikes Back music. No, not the Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. And when the Emperor's like, your journey to the dark side will be complete. I mean, that is just the most emphasized complete in the history of film. And it rocks, because it shivers. But yeah, it's evil. What they're doing is evil. It's like, put the hood on and stare deep into the souls of all these industries that rely on used games. It's like, oh my god, they're coming for us. They're you shoot lightning bolts. And that's what they're doing. It's just such a frightening power play. I mean, you get this is the Bolshevik revolution of gaming. They're storming the gates. They're tearing things down. They have pitchforks and torches. They're coming for you.
Frankenstein.
So what does that mean? Well, essentially, companies like GameStop, Electronics Boutique, a lot of these companies, this could mark the end of the beginning of the end. The end of the beginning of the end.
I was about to say, that's a Smashing
It's
Pumpkins
officially
song.
the end of the end.
The Suez belch me out. That's my Billy Corgan. I'm done. I have to get my wits back about it.
Actually, that's a good song. I just listened to it. Anyway, so companies like GameStop, Electronics Boutique, who thrive off of used game sales, because essentially their money doesn't come from selling new games, so they only get a very small percentage of the sales for that. But used games, that's where they get their most money. Well, how so? Well, when you walk in with your nice game that you just bought a month ago, and they are only going to give you $5 for the actual game, which is normal for a trade-in.
Pretty normal, yeah.
But
that's why you sell them on eBay, because every once in a while you actually get what it's worth.
But what they'll do is they'll take that $5 game that they just bought back from you, mark it back up to $45, $50, put it on the shelf, and then somebody like me who doesn't like paying the full $60 will spend the $50 to get my used game.
And there's another aspect to this too. Like me, I'm not a person who can afford to be at the forefront of gaming. Like, I don't buy things new. I wait for them to be hideously successful and to get a name for themselves, not just like with fans and players, but critically as well. And then I come in years later. I picked up Mass Effect for like $10 used the other day, and it's like I haven't had the time to devote to it, and now I'm experiencing Mass Effect, and that option is fantastic for me. And if you don't have that used option, I mean, what kind of world are we going to live in? You know, it's just depressing.
Well, I guess this brings up the other point of if that's the case, if they're going to do such a system, then we better see a better demo product system. I mean, if I'm going to buy a game for $50, $60 that I'm not going to be able to get rid of.
And if they follow the Steam model, every once in a while, I guess they'll have really good fire sales on stuff. I mean, if you're selling pure content, and you're not selling packaging and artwork and bullcrap like that, you're not paying shipping costs, theoretically, Bill Gates and Microsoft, the price should go down.
Now, there will still be physical media. They did already talk about that. There'll still be a physical media model, but they will also have the availability of electronic distribution. My problem with that is that why isn't that driving the price down already? If I'm looking at SimCity 5, which I have been, awesome-looking game, I'm not going to want to pay $60 for a hard copy and $60 for a digital copy. I should only have to pay, if I want the distribution copy, $60 is understandable. But if I'm going to download it only, why in the world am I paying $60 still?
There is one interesting facet of this. For those of us who have a lot of games in a game library, for those of us who hold on to this stuff, being a moderately successful eBay merchant, they could be inadvertently creating a really cool market for vintage games in the used sphere, because it's like all of a sudden all these old systems that didn't have to be tethered to the system, all of a sudden there's value there. There's rarity. Because not only are they not being manufactured anymore, but there's this weird kind of Robin Hood-esque illegalness to them. It's like, oh, you have a Nintendo? You some type of outlaw, that could create more of a demand for this stuff as a symbol of times past. So if you have this stuff sitting around, I mean, it might be worth a lot more to collectors now that the industry is moving in this direction. Even something like an Xbox 360 with the physical medium games, I mean, there's no telling. It's really interesting.
So what does this mean for other companies? Well, we haven't heard much regarding PlayStation 4's gaming concepts or anything just yet, so we have no clue as to what's going to happen with the PlayStation 4. And as far as I know, Nintendo is still on you can buy the physical media, you can still get used money for it, etc., etc. Plus, with their store, it still helps that you can still get the retro games that way. So Nintendo...
Virtual Console is still one of my favorite things. as lame as it is.
Oh, definitely. Virtual consoles where it's at. Retro gaming.
Yeah.
But I still prefer my consoles.
This could be a boost to indie gaming and PC gaming as well, because I mean, if you're going to buy a console and it's going to have all these limits and restrictions to it anyway, it could cause more of a mass exodus to these companies that don't want to put DRM in their software, that have more of that ethical kind of, here's my material, price it where you will. Because, like, take for instance, Little Inferno. Little Inferno just got released for iOS, and I'm going to buy that thing soon as I get off my butt, because Little Inferno is amazing. I mean, it barely qualifies as a game, but indie titles are starting to get better and better. You don't have to have these massive development teams in order to create a game that people actually want to consume, and you don't have to price it in the 60s to 70s of dollars in order to make back your investment. So for consoles, this could actually be a move that quickens this development. It could give more power to the indie community just because people hate them so much, which would be cool. Little Inferno is awesome, by the way.
So we bring across the rise of the indie platform. So I think that's going to do it for us today, but I think we're happy to be back to doing this again.
Brr.
Once in a while. We do apologize for the delay.
Watch me dance.
Watch David dance.
I'm too sick to dance.
So anyway, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.
That was a Jorg reference, by the way.